Hello, hello, hello. This is No More Covers Podcast, Season 2, hosted by your girl, Latrice Marie. And this segment is
just like a bad dream. You always on my mind.
Hello, hello, hello. This is No More Covers Podcast, Season 2, Exposed, hosted by yours truly, Latrice Marie. And so what I want to say is welcome back. And as I say that, I'm speaking not only to you, I'm speaking to me too. So in this season, you can expect a lot of things, a lot of newness, changes. But before I even go any further, I want to actually explain to you why this season is called Exposed. Exposed means no longer hidden. It means this season is revealed. In this season, a lot of people are asking me, what is it that we can expect from you? What is it that you're going to bring? And there's a lot that can happen in exposure. Okay, so I actually think about how you can take a picture, but it's not made clear until it goes through a process of being exposed. And what I want to expose to you is the very best of me. And for a long time, even to think about what does that mean? What does it mean to be exposed? It's a process that a lot of people are not going to be willing to do. If you think about it, if you have a pastor in your life and you go to their church, okay, what you know is the message that they carry. You know a little bit about the merit that they bring. What we are not exposed to is the struggles that they have currently. And a lot of times that actually is very beneficial to the one that is getting up and they're giving you a message. It's beneficial to the congregation not to really know what's going on behind the scenes. So people are very transparent about what they've been through, but not what they're going through. On this show, you're going to be exposed to me just as I am. Here it is. I had this whole idea. I had this dress I was going to wear. I was going to put makeup on. And the Lord said on this day, it is not so. That is not how I asked you to come forth. I am exposed on this day. You get the realness of who I am and what I have to offer. And for a lot of people, they would feel as though that is not good enough. For that reason, I can pause for a moment and we can go back to the trailer. And I want to say thank you to Media Done Right, House of Noyade Podcast Productions, because they bring so much to the table. And so when it comes to the trailer, I received a lot of calls, and maybe there's some comments that I saw that I could read between the lines. But what I want to do is pause and I want to say thank you for the exposure. Thank you for the love. Thank you for continuing to pour into me so I could pour out. A lot of people don't get it. It was an artistic creation, which was allowing you to see that there is no more covers. That's the one thing I want to bring in this podcast. No more covers. There are going to be no more hidden places. Anything that's going on, I want to leave it exposed. There is no more hiding. And so I had someone call me and say, Latrice, I love you. I know the message that you carry, but why is it that you are bringing it in this way? There is exposure that is happening here. What I want to do is expose you to the light and the truth. By me allowing myself to be made plain, to be made clear, to be exposed unto you, it allowed me to feel empowered. And you may wonder exactly what does that mean? There were things that were exposed that shouldn't have been when you carry the word of God. And so I want to pause because here it was, I would have been partially naked. Most of us are not comfortable in our own skin. We're not comfortable if our truth was made plain and clear for other people to see. And so before I even begin to go there, I want to show you this. This picture right here is what led me to know that it was a confirmation. Here it is in the season Okay, before I came and I sat down, before I can come and I can record just like that, I knew the Lord was just continuing to bless me. He was continuing to use me. And he said, all you have to do is open your mouth and I'll put everything you need right inside of there. What you fail to realize is there are a lot of myths that are going on that's out there in the world. And the only way to break a myth, the only way to step out into the shift that God has created you for, it starts with your mind and has to make it to your mouth. This is the only way we cancel myths. And so one of the myths that I walked in for a long time, I would have to begin at the very beginning, and we'll do that eventually. But what I want to let you know is for a long time, it seems like the people that throughout this time, throughout my life, the people, the men that I would be involved with, the ones that I was in love with, the ones that I was married to, well, at least the last one anyway, but it seems as though I seem to attract or be drawn to men that love thick women. And let me tell you something, I'm not thick. Maybe in the spirit, I'll say I'm thick in the spirit, but physically I'm not. And so out here in this world, we've created a myth about what beauty is. I believe we were beautiful while we even were in the womb. However, God created and portioned you is more than enough. It is good enough. When he looked at you, he said, it is good. But a lot of us will put it on our lips, but we don't believe it in our hearts. And for me, that was my struggle for a long time. I told people when it came down to Latrice Marie, if there was anything that I could have changed at one point in time in my life, I would have changed everything about me. Nothing, according to me and my broken mindset, said it was good enough. So when I had this opportunity to do the trailer, and I began to speak with Dion and Rome, who are an amazing part of my life, regardless of what other people believe, because oftentimes people believe that all they can do is see what someone is doing, which is the opposite of what you believe. But I believe that when God looked at them, he said, it is good. We were created in his image. We were created in uniqueness, which is good enough. But when you begin to struggle and you begin to believe the myths and you allow it to shift you and break you in certain ways, those are not the places that we want to expose unto other people. For this reason, we have some of the most beautiful people in the world with outrageous talents going under the hands of the doctor, because they don't feel as though who they are and what they bring is good enough. But I say no more. We have to break that. I always ask, what is beauty if it can be manipulated? God said you were wonderfully and fearfully made. He said you were made in his image. What part of you is so broken that we don't realize that we are more than good? For this reason, as I came partially naked before you, is to let you know I'm exposing myself. But what it did was not cripple me. It allowed me to carry the message. It allowed me to realize who I am and what I carry. It allowed me to remember that the Lord said that I am good just as I am, regardless of what other people think. He created me to be bold. He created me to be made plain and clear when it comes to the truth. What you're going to get is the truth. And the truth is, I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought that if I had the opportunity, maybe somewhere in the back of my mind, if I had enough money, maybe I would actually go out and go through that same process and procedure as other people. There is so much body shaming going on in the world nowadays. And I allowed myself to come boldly before you with the care and the plan of my team. As I began to move and I began to shift and things were removed, I was at perfect peace. I have something to say and I have something to give, and it is good. I want to encourage someone that right now, maybe you're in a fallen state fallen, I said a fallen statement. Maybe you are in a fallen position, so the world says. But I believe that your testimony is only a part of the test. I believe that the Lord can still use the good as well as the bad that is within each and every one of us. None of us are the total perfection of what God is and who he brings. But I believe that when you just begin to rely on him, that things shift. And when you're exposed, it no longer makes you feel fearful of what man has to say. You are good just the way you are. Every color, every shape, every mindset, every position, you are good. God says in Romans 8:28 that he uses all things for your good. When you begin to rely, when you begin to trust, when you begin to need him more than anything else, he has a way of breaking, shifting. He begins to prune things out of you. And when he does, you will be a part of his life. You will be exposed to exactly who he says you are. Not in that season, but in this season. I believe that we are a part of his story. A lot of times what happens is we fail to realize that the Bible has not ended. I believe that it is true. Every word that was spoken, it is true. I believe that we are a part of that. But we have to decide, what is it that you're bringing to the table? I come before you exposed, but at the same time, I'm excited about the opportunity. Before, I would have been fearful and I would have remained hidden. And so it goes right back to this picture that I was pointing out before. This picture right here was something that I sent to a loved one. In this past season, I struggled and I didn't even know what was wrong, Lord. Lord, I came just as I am. And I know that there are things that are parts of me that are broken. But those parts are not going to be removed if I'm not willing to expose it to your light, Lord. And so for a long time, I had to realize that I'm angry. But what am I angry for? What am I angry at? And Lord, how can you use this too? I begin to go out more and more. And I began to see my foot was beginning to slide. The things that I would have said, the things that I would have worn, I wouldn't have worn before. The choices that I made, I didn't understand it, but it didn't take for me to be around a lot of people and get caught up in what everyone else was saying and what everyone else was doing. I had to sit and be still and know that he is still God and that he said I was good. Because a lot of times we wrestle with darkness, but that's not the part we're going to bring to light. And the Lord allowed me to be still. I felt like as though he put me on an island. I would have my own Patmos, my own island where he just continued to remove me from everything and everybody. And I wasn't going to church. And I'm one of those girls that need church. I need fellowship. I need the word poured out purely and true upon me. I need to continuously be gathered in the light. But I think that a lot of times we get so caught up because we get caught up in what people are wearing, what people are saying, what we heard this person was doing behind closed doors. We're caught up in everything else. And just recently, I thank the Lord because I had somebody that came to me and they told me, I love the Lord, but I don't go to church because all you do is you get caught up in what people look like. You get caught up in the cliques and what people have to say. And here it is. I come before you and all I know is I want to explain to you why I am exposed. And then the Lord just continues to remind me not only of the company that I keep, but also the conversations that are had. And this person was telling me I don't go to church because that's all it's about. And you got people looking at you funny. And this reminded me of a conversation that I had with another person, a loved one of mine. And I said, let's just imagine for a moment that you were in a broken state, maybe financially, physically, emotionally, whatever the case may be. And here you are, and maybe you have your children that are looking to you and you can't provide. Maybe you're in a position where you're broken and you have more needs than you have the ability to be able to provide for those needs for yourself and maybe for those that are looking up to you. And then there's a place that you find out about that all you have to do is just come. You just come as you are. And when you enter this place, they're going to make sure that you're met with everything you need. It doesn't cost you anything. It may cost you a little bit of time, but it's not going to cost you any money. And in this place, you'll be met and your needs will be fulfilled. And you'll be able not only to care for yourself, but to care for those that you love. If all you had to do is come just as you are, what would stop you from going to a food pantry? What would stop you from going to the doctor? What would stop you from being met with this opportunity to have your needs met? And you don't have to answer. It's a rhetorical question because I already know there would be nothing and no one that would stop you. The stairs wouldn't stop you. What other people were doing in this place would not stop you. So how can you allow others in that same position to stop you and block your blessings? What is it that you're going to allow to block the praises of the one that has it all for you? The one that made the sacrifice and sacrificed his son for your behalf. What would stop you from moving your legs and coming just as you are if that's the only requirement? Don't get so caught up on what things look like on the outside that you can't be blessed on the inside with what the Lord has to offer you. And I believe on this day, he's saying, just come as you are. There's a treasure that is waiting to be made manifest in you. And once that manifestation takes place, there is nothing that will stop or hinder his move in you. So delay no more. Come as often as needed. You are welcome here in his presence. I believe that we fail to realize that as a body, we have a job, we have work to do, and all it starts with is you showing up. How will you show up? Will you show up on time? Will you show up ready and willing and able to go? Will you show up for someone that is struggling? And that is the question. As I come to you live and exposed. So just pause for a momentary message after this break.
Abuse No More, The Breaking of a Mindset is a thoroughly written, therapeutic, transformational, and thought-provoking autobiography about and by Latrice Marie. In this book, the author states, I now see innocents planted on a battlefield, wandering in and out of the enemy's territory, unarmed, unprepared, unprotected, and unaware of the dangers that she would face, swallow, or wear like a badge of honor. This is my honor to serve you. This is my calling and my purpose. And I believe that the Lord has just set it on fire. Right now on Amazon.com, Abuse No More is being offered at a discounted rate. In addition to that, I'm willing to send you your autographed copy. All you have to do is give me a call at 512-630-0870. Even if you know someone who feels trapped, those that are suffering, dealing with grief, trauma, addiction, whatever the brokenness, I believe that this book will speak directly to you. You can also send me an email at onelatricemarie@gmail.com. That's the number 1latricemarie@gmail.com. Get yours today.